Okay, we're setting up here. Let's see, let me get the other thing working over here so I can see if anything is getting out, and it's not there. Whoa, I hate that. Okay, and that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Try it again. Recycle. And we have nothing. This is always a struggle. This is always a struggle. Oh, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm trying to set up my other computer so I can watch the chat room. Oh, here it is down here. Okay. That's one thing about YouTube. They're always changing things in an attempt to improve things, and sometimes it's not a chat room. Whoa. Oh, here it is down here. Okay. Okay. Audio off. That was the wrong button. Okay, now we see. Why'd I go there? I went to a commercial. And it's not even my video. Oh my, I went to the next video is what I did. Stand by, I'm still setting up. It's not 9 o'clock yet, so give me a chance. All right, now we're back to here. Now I can scroll down a little bit. And we're showing, okay, we're showing my junk pile over there. All righty. And now we will switch to, or attempt to switch to screen share. And you'll get this mirror effect initially until I change things. Okay, present to everyone. And then we'll minimize. Oh, I'm almost closed it. We'll minimize this. And I'll go over and look at my other computer and see if my desktop is coming out. And it's getting there. Wow, it's about a 30-second delay here. Okay, I think we're here. And it's 9 o'clock right now. 9 o'clock is, hey, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And we're going to try another hangout to be the second hangout in a row on a Saturday. Amazing. Which at any minute, any second, it could all come crashing down. So let me hide this little thing here. We don't need that up there. And what I'm going to try to do is speak. Is I started a series where I was showing the record feature on 3 programs for SDRs. The first one was, and I lost my little note, was SDR Uno. And what SDR Uno with my SDR Play, which is what I've got right now, and it's hooked to a discone antenna, so it's good for VHF, UHF, not HF. But it would, with a bandwidth of 8 megahertz, which is the maximum for this device, it would only record 30 seconds of data before it got to 1 gigabyte file. Really heat up your hard drive. So I cranked that down to only 2 megahertz bandwidth, and I was able to record 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and it only took up 1 gigahertz. So I went to HD SDR, which would not run my radio at 8 megahertz. It was breaking up. So I had to crank it down to 2 megahertz, and then it recorded for 2 minutes and 10 seconds, about the same as SDR Uno. So this morning, I'm going to try SDR console version 3, dated March 2nd, 2018. This is his latest version. And he has a number of options under his record function. And I've been searching this week for more information about this, and I kind of drew a blank. When I say I drew a blank, I did not find much information. And I even went to the SDR console users group and posted a message about where can I get more information about the record functions in SDR console. I got no replies. I did, after looking through all the pages on SDR console's website, I did find a section on this, and I'm going to show it to you right now, or I'm going to attempt it. So I should go here and go to, don't tell me I lost it. Yes, I lost it. Oh no, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Right there. So this is the SDR-radio website for SDR console. And I'm going to see if that came up. So stand by, and I'll also look in the chat room. So Illinois Citizens is there, and Glenn is there. Hi guys, thanks for showing up. So this is the section on record and playback. And it goes down, and it says there's 3 recording options, either a WAV file, which is what they call lossless, means you didn't lose any data, meaning it's a bigger file. And that's what the other 2 programs produce, is WAV files, even though it's the data stream from the radio, which has audio and other stuff. It's saved in a WAV file. In SDR console, you can save it in WAV, or you can save it in MP3, which is typically more compact, so you can get a longer time span in less hard drive space. And you could also save it in WMA, which I don't think is very efficient either. And then down here, it gives you some examples. It says a comparison of 60-second recording amateur radio single sideband. WAV file took 5,800 kilobytes, or 5.8 megabytes. An MP3 only took 464 kilobytes. In a WAV file, a WMA file, only took 492. So you can see the MP3 file format is much more efficient, way more efficient. So that would probably be the one I would choose. Now, and here it gives you some more information about the screens, what will show up, and the fact you can select the format. And then down here, it tells you that you can browse for the recordings. And then down here, the other option is the playback, or the recording you did. And then here's, whoops, I went past it. Here is the data, or IQ, raw data recording. This program has 2 options for recording. You can either record everything that's coming from the radio, so that when you play it back, it's just like you're listening to the radio, or you can record only the audio. So, of course, if you only record the audio, the files will be much smaller. And then there's also options for scheduled recordings, and other things such as the size of each file, the sample size, and lock the radio so that it's not accidentally changed while you're recording. And then it talks about, what does it talk about then? Storage, tells you places you can store it. And for instance, you could obviously store it on your hard drive, but you could also store it on external devices. But they don't recommend that because it could be too slow. Like if you were trying to store the data on a USB stick that was on a USB 2.0 interface, it may not be able to keep up. So there's some options. So there's the information I found. There's some more about the playback. Now here is the part that I was confused. Down here, when you select a recording that you've done and you play it back, you can go to this panel here and get some more options. This is where I was looking for more information. I don't know what this is showing me. So unfortunately, I didn't find other additional information. Maybe somebody that's watching this show can tell me, what I'm seeing here. Anyway, we're going to play with it for a while and get as far as we can. So let's go back to that. Let's minimize this. Now we're back to SDR console. Again, I'm using my SDR Play 1. And I got a disco antenna. And right now, I'm recording the band where the NOAA weather information is on 162.4555, thereabouts. You can see I can get 2 frequencies really strong. So now we're going to try a record. And let me just check the chat room, see if there's anything going on there. Nope, there's nothing going on in the chat room. So now we can choose, we can go over to this option right here, record playback. So I can select that, and here's all the options under record and playback. So there's 2 sections here. One is to record audio only. The next section is to record data, which is everything coming from the radio, and that creates those big files. And then you can go to, once you record something, go over this section here, which is the data playback. And then finally, there's a scheduler you can set up, which I'm not going to go over the scheduler, so that you can schedule when it records and just leave it running and then go off and do other things, such as mow your lawn. All right, so we're going to go record data. So that means we're going to record everything that's going on in the screen. The bandwidth right now is 8 megahertz. So I got full bandwidth of this receiver. And so it's going to create a big file. And I'm just, like I say, I'm just using this NOAA right now. I've got the audio turned off. Let me just turn it on for a second. Okay, that's not, Glenn, is my audio coming through? I should have asked that early on. That I made the mistake before somehow. I wasn't getting my audio on. Well, we're going to assume my audio is on. Yes, it's on, because I remember at the beginning I had my other computer, the audio playing the show, and I heard the audio. Okay, Mr. Bender is here. Hey, Mr. Bender. Thanks, Glenn. Okay, so the audio is working. I still have a slight problem with this setup. In my microphone's output is still kind of low. Now, I have a sinus infection, so my voice is low. That's part of the problem. So we're going to go on here. So I'm going to hit record. And it's going to bring up this window. So now you can see where you can determine where the recordings are going, the format. And we're going to use MP3 instead of WAVE, which is what the other programs use. Now, maybe I should use WAVE. That way we can do a one-to-one compare. Yeah, let's use WAVE first. And let's do it so that way we can do a one-to-one compare to the other program. So we'll go back to WAVE. And length, we're not going to restrict the length. Ignore squelch data. We're not going to ignore squelch data. And we're going to start. So it should be recording now. Now, I thought, I thought somewhere it told me the file size and it's recording. I could have swore it did, but I don't see it. Now I see down here it has a size. Currently memory used, that's memory used. I'm worried about memory. I'm worried about hard drive space. So, I thought it would tell me the size of the file it's recording. Okay, what we're going to have to do then, since I can't find that feature, if it exists, I'm going to stop this. And then I'm going to use a timer. Now, the other program, SDR Uno, recorded with when I had a bandwidth of 8 megahertz, it only recorded 30 seconds of data before it got to a gigabyte of storage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the recorder run for 30 seconds. So let me reset my timer, and we're going to start here again, and start, and we'll start with timer. And like I say, I'm going to let it record for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to try to look at the file size. So this is 8 megahertz wide, and it's creating a WAV file, which is the biggest file. Okay, there's 30 seconds, and I will stop. Okay, so it's saved the file, and now we should be able to go to, oh, I did an audio recording. Oh, that's the trouble with live show. Okay, we'll do it again, and I'm trying to do a data recording. Okay, we're going to start a data recording. And now I got little different options. Let's see, schedule recording, no. Where I want to put it, yeah, it's the same place, 16-bit. Now here you can change the sample size from 16-bit to 32-bit. And it says use 30, it's hinting here, use 32-bit for weak signals, meaning it's capturing more of the spectrum. It's a higher resolution. Therefore, if you got a weak signal that might not show up, then you'll see it. Now the question is, the other two programs, were they recording in 32-bit or 16-bit? I'm going to go for worst case. I'm going to go for 32-bit. And then down here, it gives me some information. It says my rate will be 64 megabytes per second or 3.8 gigabytes per minute. So let me think about that. So recording before at 8 gigahertz on SDR Uno, I only recorded 30 seconds, and I used up 1 gigabyte. So if I take, instead of this being a minute, I half that to 30 seconds, then I would half the 3.8, and that would be 1.9. Are you surprised I got that math right? I am surprised I got that math. So that would say that I would use 1.9 gigabytes of memory to record 30 seconds. So if I wanted to go down to, that's almost 2 gigabytes. If I wanted to go down to 1 gigabyte of storage, I would divide again. So that would say I only got 15 seconds of storage. That means 15 seconds of data coming across time-wise. I hope I still got the math right. Let me take a break here. Jeez. Yes, it is the size. I moused over it. This is the size of memory being used. It's not the size of the file. And you can see it fluctuates up and down. Okay, so where was it? So theoretically, I think I can only record 15 seconds and only use 1 gigabyte. But we're going to record for 30 seconds. So that's the time I recorded under SDR Uno at 8 megahertz. So let me get my stopwatch reset here. And so we're going to say start. And, oh, now it's giving me that. I don't wonder why they didn't give me this information when I was recording audio only. So now we can see this, the storage. There's one gigabyte at 15 seconds, as I predicted, based on the information that was given in the other screen. So That's half of SDR Uno at 8 megahertz. So, but I had those other options. So maybe SDR Uno was recording at 16 gigabytes. Now let's just go look at the options. I'm not going to do the recording. So we'll say record. And then we'll come down to these options that show the prediction down here. And I'm going to select 16. And those, wait a minute. Yeah, I was going to say those numbers didn't change. Yes, they changed. So now it's 1.9 gigabytes per minute. If I only record 30 seconds, that's about a gigabyte. So this is probably the format the other program saved in, which is 16 bits, not 32. So if I did a record of that, it's going to be equal to SDR Uno at 8 megahertz, which is about 30 seconds of recording to use up 1 gigabyte of memory storage. Do you follow? I know I'm making this hard, and I shouldn't. Okay, let me look at the chat room and get me a little drink here. All right. Mr. Killinger's here. Hey, Mr. Killinger, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. So, for that situation, meaning the bandwidth at the time of the recording is made megahertz, if I select 16-bit, then it's about the same storage usage as SDR Uno. And I suspect that if I change the bandwidth down to 2 megahertz, it'll be about the same. So let's just see if that information is reflected on the screen. So I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to change the bandwidth to 2 megahertz. Now I'm going to go back to record, and I'm going to select record, and I'm going to select 16-bit. And yes, it's a half a megabyte, approximately. So that means I will get a little over 2 minutes of recording time and use up 1 gigabyte of my hard drive space. So it appears that each of these programs, when you select the parameters that are identical to the other program, they give you the same storage efficiency. But this program, SDR console, gives you all these other options. Like I say, on this screen, you can change the file size. You can change the sample rate, 16 or 32. And then up here, of course, is the file name. And you can do schedule recordings. Now, let's just take a look at schedule. I'm not going to do a schedule recording, but just take a look at it. Oh my gosh, this is a whole nother screen. Yeah, I'm not going to discuss that today. Wow, that's pretty intensive. So I'll have to learn how to use that before I even begin to discuss that. Okay, so that's scheduled recording. So as you can see on this program, SDR console, he's got, just on recording and playback, he's got all kinds of features. Now let me attempt, I recorded a couple of files here. Let me attempt to play one back. So over here, this section here is the playback section. So you need to open a file, and then here's one of the files that I recorded. This is actually, let me go here. Okay, there's the other one. So you got browse option and you got recent files option. And then you got all these other options. You can delete a file, you can edit a file, you can go to a different folder. But what we want to do is just play. And this is one that recorded not too long ago. And it says that the file, the title of the file is the frequency, the mid frequency, 164 megahertz. The bandwidth was 8 megahertz, and the time recorded, and the date and time are recorded, and the recording itself. And what other information does it have? Duration, okay, 22 seconds. Center frequency, 164. Bandwidth, 8. Format is SDR-radio. The size is 1.4 gigabyte, and the folder is, and the file is 1. Okay, so we're going to select that one and say play. So what it's doing, this is the 2 megabyte bandwidth. Let me stop. Whoa, stop. Pause. Okay, so we're getting a lot more information down here. Here's the title, which includes the date and the time, and it's still playing. How come I didn't? Yeah, it didn't pause on me. Okay, I don't know why it didn't pause. Let me play it again. And I'll hit pause. All right, there it paused. So down here is some information about the file. The title, which includes all this information, the file name, the time of the file, and that increments as you're playing it back, and then the playback time down here. So let me see if that's true about the time. Maybe the time is the time the recording started. So let's unpause. No, time is moving. And then we'll pause. Now, something I talked about when I was reviewing the other programs is the feature where you can jump around in the file. So say you see something go by, but you didn't have that frequency selected. And this is what you ideally want to do with these programs, is you want to record a chunk of the band. And for instance, one thing I mentioned that I want to do is I want to record the 10-meter amateur radio band for a couple of hours to look for activity. And what I want to do once I record it and I come back to it, I want to kind of search through that. We're looking for activity, and then when I find activity, you can tune different frequencies during this, or in this case, 2 megahertz bandwidth. So I can, like right now, it stopped, and so I can select this frequency and then start to play again and find out what was going on. Now, up here are all the other options. You can restart the file. You can move back 5 seconds. You can move forward 5 seconds. And it says you can center on the playback frequency. In other words, put the screen back to the middle of the playback frequency. Then, on top of all that stuff, and let me take a break and look at the chat room right here. Glenn claims that Tom is really good with SDR. It must be speaking about a different Tom. I am so much a newbie with SDR and SDR programs, and then especially SDR console. I just kind of scratch the surface. I do these hangouts because I'm not very knowledgeable, and I'm looking for people to help me and correct me so I don't put out bad information. And I think YouTube now includes in the recording of the show the chat, so you can see people's comments. I noticed that. I don't remember if it was in Hangout or streaming that it saved it. I'll have to go check that. All right. Okay, we are moving on. So what I was saying is the one feature I've been looking for is being able to move around within this file that I've saved time-wise. And for instance, one feature I would like is fast forward. Now, I don't mean jump forward as suggested up here. I mean, play it back faster so I can look at, not necessarily listen to the audio, but look at the waveforms here and see if I see a signal pop up. And if I do, then I can go back, play it real time meaning the real time that it was when it was recorded, and listen to what was going on. So that's what I'm looking for. The other programs, I did not see that option. Now, here's where my knowledge takes a big drop, is this navigator function. And this is what I was looking for, either in the users group for some information or on the website, explaining this. Watch this. Now you get to another screen down here with all these options. I'm not sure what they are. Okay, so let's go down. So we've got open a file and then play, similar things that are up here. We got that. That's not new. That looks like, well, that's the center. Okay. And then we got start and finish. I'm not sure what that is, unless that is like you want to say, okay, I want to start the playback at 9:15 instead of if it started at 9 o'clock. I guess that's what that means. Now, the other thing is, what the heck is this right here? Now, it goes from 0 to 59 or like 60 seconds. So I think this is, like this says 9:17. So this must be the minutes. And then it's got all this other stuff over here. Now, what's this say? Layout. Select a grid layout with the hours on either something. Come back. It didn't let me finish reading it. On either the vertical or horizontal axis. The hours. Okay, I don't know what that means. Window size. Increase the size of the main navigation window. Okay. So maybe, see, I only recorded for like, whoa, it started. And when I hit that, it started. Oh, it's restarting at that time. Now, what I was trying to say, let me pause, is maybe if I recorded, say, for 4 hours, I could use this bar down here to jump around in those 4 hours. But it's not really what I was looking for, which is what I was looking for is to play 2 times speed or 4 times speed or whatever, so that I, the audio would be garbled or not there, but I could watch the waveforms. I don't see that function here. It might be there, but I don't see it. So like I say, the file, the time I record was very short. So maybe I'm missing some options because I already recorded for like 30 seconds. Maybe that's it. All right, let me check the chat room here. And we have Gary from Dade City. Ah, Florida man. So I haven't found the feature I'm looking for, which is playback at different speeds, and understanding that if I play back at a higher speed, the audio will be distorted, or if I play back too fast, there won't be any audio. But do you understand what I'm looking for? I'm looking for doing recording for 4 hours and then playing it back at a higher speed than real time. And like you would watch a video. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. And I typically there's an option under YouTube, as most of you know, that you can play back at different speeds up to 2 times normal speed. I typically play back all the videos I watch at 2 times. And if it was available, some of them I might even play back at 4 times. Again, the audio is going to be a little garbled at 4 times, but 2 times, for me, it's understandable. So I watch most videos at 2 times the normal speed. That's what I want to do here. I want to be able to play back the graphics, the waterfall and the spectrum display at a higher speed so I can get through it sooner or faster. In that, if I'm watching a recording that was 4 hours long, I don't want to sit there and watch the whole 4 hours. I want to zip through that until I see something I see a signal here pop up, and then I'll slow it down at normal speed. So I bet you that option's buried here somewhere, but I haven't found it. So any of you can give me feedback, either the people that are watching live or the people that watch this show later. If you have any insight how I can do that, how I can record a file long-term, say 4 hours, and play it back at 2 or 4 or whatever times the normal speed until I see a blip on the waveform, and then I can play it at normal speed. I'm going to look in the chat room, see if I got any suggestions. Yes, you can. This morning, apparently, there is a lot of EMS, fire EMS activity. Been going on it started just before I started the show, and it's still going on. So that's what you're hearing. So apparently my microphone's picking that up pretty well. And that's one of the things that I do monitor is fire and EMS. And you've seen I've done a lot of shows on it, and it is super active in this area. I live in Pinellas County, Florida, and we have a ton of older people, such as myself, and we have to call 911 quite often. And the traffic as far on 911 is extremely high. I mean, you can go to Pinellas County Fire and EMS has a website that will actually show you, and I've shown it in the past, will show you a listing nearly real time of all the calls and the number of vehicles and what the vehicles are and that information. And typically there's 15 to 20 calls on the screen at any time during the daylight hours. Nighttime, it goes down to 5 or 10, but we have a lot of fire and EMS activity in this area. So that's why you're hearing all that. All righty. So I think I've ventured as far as I dare about the recording functions of this program. As you can see, there is a ton. There's a few that I showed you, and there's a ton more. I still, not that familiar with this navigation bar. And I won't even attempt to use the schedule program for scheduling recordings, because let me just go to it one more time. This is the additional screen all by itself where you can set up these recordings. And then you can schedule recording, the time, the duration, and reoccurrence, all these options. I'm going to have to play with this, and just blows my mind away. So I'm not going to touch on this now because this is my first time I went to it. I don't know anything about it. So of the 3 programs that I tried that has recording features, I'll just briefly go through them one more time and then we'll call it quits. The first one I did, and I did shows on every one of these, and this is the final show on SDR console. SDR Uno, let's use 2 megahertz bandwidth because all of them could do 2 megahertz. SDR Uno and this program could do a bandwidth of 8 megahertz, and my computer could keep up with it. When I tried HD SDR, tried 8 megahertz, I got dropout, so I couldn't do that test. So if we just compare 2 megahertz, so a bandwidth of 2 megahertz, I allowed it to record until it used up 1 gigabyte of hard drive space. And then I recorded the time that it recorded. SDR Uno for 2 megahertz recorded 2 minutes and 15 seconds before it reached 1 gigabyte of storage space. HD SDR recorded about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And this program, SDR console, with basically the same options for bandwidth, type of file, and all that stuff, it was about the same, about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes. So as far as disk usage, they all seem to be the same. Now, what I did not do, I'm just going to go, maybe I did and I forgot, is let me go back here to data record. Nope, I got to stop this first. Stop. Okay. Data record. Okay. Let me close this screen. I don't think it will let you start a record unless you got the radio started. So let me go back and start the radio. So I'll start the radio record. I'll start the radio. So radio's running now. Now I'll go to record, playback, and record. And I'll select record. And I will select record. Okay. Why won't it let me select record? I am playing back. Don't know. Cannot start a record. All right, well, we can fix that. Stand by. We'll stop the program. When all else fails, end the program and start again. I don't know why it wouldn't let me start record again. Okay, we're going to start this. Okay, now it's playing. And now we'll go to playback and record. And we will select record. And it won't let me record. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. It just was a little slow. It could be now that I've been running for a while, and it could be I'm running out of CPU power. That could be it because it took a long time to bring that screen up. Now, down here it says that I'm only using 60%. Maybe it was the time it took to access the hard drive. All right. Now, we can... Oh, yeah. I've already tried this. This program gives the option of recording at 32 bits or 16 bits. And to get a similar record usage of the hard drive, we had to select 16-bit. So we can, which I guess the other programs use 16 bits. So we could record at a higher bit rate, 32 bit rate, and we would get more data coming from the radio captured, which means when we play it back, we would get a finer resolution on the spectrum display. And we could zoom in better, I guess. So that's the option. Now, let me go back to that one more time. And now this, when I'm recording data, it does not give me any option for the file format like it did under audio recording. So I assume it's recording it as a WAV file. So let's go back and select audio record. Now here is where you get the option for the format, because it's only recording audio. And so he's implemented 3 ways to record that audio. Either WAV, which is what the other programs use, MP3, which is more efficient, I'll say, because it doesn't record as fine a detail or resolution. And then you have WMA. He does not give those options under the data record. I guess because of the data that's being recorded is way beyond just audio. So that's it. I think I'm kind of told you everything I know, which didn't take very long, did it? Again, if you have some comments, please put them in the comments section on this video. And I thank everybody that stopped by this early in the morning. I still don't know an optimum time to do these hangouts to make them available to the maximum number of people. Right now, I'm kind of settling on 9 or 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. That's best overall, I think, throughout the world. It's not great for the people on the west coast of the United States because it's like 6 and 7 in the morning on Saturday morning. It's a little early, but it works out good for people in Europe and for people in Asia because it would be 9 or 10 p.m. in the evening. So that's it. Let's check the chat room one more time. And I see Danny showed up and Mr. Furball showed up and Gary showed up. John McClure showed up. Wow. Thank you guys for showing up. I'm hoping that I can do regular shows on Saturday morning. That's my hope, to do these hangouts on Saturday morning and get people watching my show that are also providing inputs to what I'm talking about, because I'm still learning, especially about SDRs and the programs that control SDRs. For instance, SDR Sharp, I had set up on another computer. I had a plugin that would do scanning in SDR Sharp. I set up that program on this computer. The plugin had been revised and I can't get it working properly. The thing I cannot get to work is to set up a band of which I wanted to search. Say I wanted to search from 157 megahertz to 162 megahertz. I put in that data and I hit return, but it doesn't save it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Very frustrating. Another thing that's frustrating about this setup I have right now, this program, SDR Console, refuses to use my external speakers. And apparently, not apparently, but this computer has a built-in speaker. And it's real small, and the audio is really low and really poor. And I tried, let me see if I can go back to it. I think it was under, where was it? Oh, it's up here. It's up here. Right here, I get these options under speakers. The first 2 look identical. And I've tried both, and they both give me an audio output on that internal speaker, which is pretty poor. I don't have any speakers in the radio that I'm using, so I can't use that. And then the channels right and left, that didn't make a difference. So, and of course I chose default. And I cannot get the audio to go out the external speaker connection. I don't know why. Other programs such as SDR Uno or HD SDR, they work fine. They output the audio to the external speakers. I don't know how to fix this. Again, I posted a message on the group for SDR console and I got no responses except to do what I just showed you. And I tried all those options and it didn't work. I don't know what's wrong with that. I'm having to live with that right now. So anyway, yeah, I can't find that. Talking about playback option, I can't find the option to playback at a higher speed. Maybe it's because it's recorded everything coming out of the radio, and it would be just too much processing to do the high speed playback or higher speed playback. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure on the audio, since it's just created a standard, I call it music file, then you can use other programs to play it back at a higher speed. But the data recording, no. And so far, I've not found any programs that will give me that option, which is the options I want. I do not want to have to sit here and watch or listen to a 4-hour recording at real time. That kind of defeats the purpose of the recording. Anyway, I want to thank everybody that stopped by and hope you have a great weekend. And thanks for coming. We've got to look at the chat room and then we're going to say bye-bye. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I wish I could scan a big file at 2x or 4x and looking for spikes. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, Danny, that's what I thought, and I couldn't really illustrate that because I only recorded for about 15 seconds. So again, I agree with you. That's one way, but then you're just kind of jumping around. When what I want to do is I want to actually play back the entire recorded data file, but at a higher speed so that I could watch these two waveforms and look for a spike meaning some kind of activity. And then I could stop it and go back to that and play it at real time and see what the audio was. That's what I want to do ideally. Maybe Simon will watch my show and take that suggestion. Nah, not a chance. I guess I really, now that I've said that, I really need to send him an email and ask him about that function, if he can add it, and when he might add it. I mean, he's super active on developing this software. He got a ton of features. I mean, unbelievable number of features, and he keeps adding more and more. So anyway, I think that's it. Oh, it's your birthday, Gary. Well, happy birthday, Gary. My birthday is next month on Mother's Day. I don't know if it's on Mother's Day this year, but I was born on Mother's Day. And I will be a really old man next month. I want to think about it. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. And like I said before, hopefully I can do these shows on a repetitive basis on Saturday mornings. Have a great day. Bye-bye.